is your daughter doing?
She's all right. She's
Kicking ass. That's what she's doing.
It's Sunday morning on CBS, and here again is Jane Pauley.
That's from Little Miss Sunshine, which thrilled audiences when it premiered at the Sundance Film Festival nearly 20 years ago. As Lee Cowan tells us, that's just one of the many independent films and filmmakers Sundance has launched into the cinematic stratosphere.
Park City, Utah. It's a snow globe kind of place. It sparkles and glitters like a fairy tale.
Nose right up here, please.
Especially at this time of year, when the silver screens of Sundance come to this silver mining town, and young filmmakers start thinking of the moment.
And the Oscar goes to Sean Hayter.
They might see some glitter of their own.
I want to thank Sundance for starting this journey.
Sean Hayter's film Coda appeared at Sundance in 2021. It went on to win 3 Oscars the following year, including Best Picture.
Now, it doesn't always happen that way, of course, but the Sundance Film Festival does have a pretty good track record of catapulting independent filmmakers into a career.
Its alumni include the likes of Steven Soderbergh, Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan, Lulu Wang.
All right, welcome.
They were all introduced not only to audiences, but to powerful film distribution companies right here, high in the Wasatch Mountains of Utah.
I think that was the big breakthrough with Sundance, is that finally these new voices, these exciting new filmmakers had a place where they could actually show what they had done and potentially sell them.
8-time Oscar nominee Glenn Close first heard about Sundance from its famous founder, Robert Redford, on the set of The Natural. His idea, then just in its infancy, was in some ways just as pure as baseball itself.
I said, wait a minute, there are other stories out there. There are other voices to be heard that are not being given a chance. What if we created something, an opportunity for those people to get their films made and have them distributed?
The smaller stories.
Yeah, the smaller stories, the more offbeat stories, the more controversial.
Which is why he wanted his nonprofit, Sundance Institute, to be held as far away from profit-focused Hollywood as possible.
So he set it up here, amid the pines and aspens of Utah's Provo Canyon, on land that he bought.
I'll jump first.
Nope. After the success of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I can't swim!
You were surrounded by nature in a way that, if you're from a city, it's undeniable.
It's almost a spiritual thing.
It's a spiritual thing, and I think that was very important for Bob.
Hi, how are you?
Bye. Yeah.
I didn't think it would last past 2 or 3 years.
You really didn't?
No, I didn't.
Let's roll sound.
But his institute has lasted 44 years and counting.
Yeah, let's just pick up the speed and see how it feels.
It's become for film what Michelin stars are to fine dining. You don't choose Sundance. Sundance chooses you.
We'll get 3,000 scripts. We'll select 12. That's a tiny number.
She's been ignoring him.
But there are a lot of people globally who want to tell stories, and we believe in the power of storytelling.
So tell me about the Oscar.
Michelle Satter. She's the Institute's founding senior director.
I know, I'm still surprised by it. The film is not complete until it reaches an audience and engages with an audience.
She's been by Redford's side since 1981.
How do you know when you've found a unique story or a unique talent?
Yeah, I love that question.
You probably get it all the time.
It speaks to me. If they don't have a voice that is unique, we're not interested.
And what does that mean to your voice?
There's something about the way they tell the story that does not feel generic, like anybody could tell this story, but they're bringing something, from their own experience, from their own, connection to storytelling that uplifts it. At 5:30, last day of shooting,
Last spring, Satter allowed us into Sundance's Story Directors and Screenwriters Lab.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
This time, held in Estes Park, Colorado.
It's not about ego, it's not about anything other than learning, making mistakes.
One of the lab's advisors,
You know what the geography of the room is.
4-time Oscar nominee, actor Ed Harris.
I love the work, it's all about the work, and I learn as much as I probably help anybody.
Like, this is once in a lifetime. Right.
It's been such a pleasure.
All the Sundance Fellows, as they're called, bring projects already in the works.
Did you say where do we go from here?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Like Hannah Gray Organsky, polishing up her upcoming feature film.
There's tough feedback, like feedback that's good, and to have that at the phase where you can really be deepening and honing the characters and story, it feels lucky.
And Carmen, action.
Casey Maderno, who was fine-tuning her rom-com.
The questions I think that you're normally asked as a filmmaker is like about budget, about accessibility, about market response. And so to be asked questions about like the feeling of the film and the aesthetics of the film and the texture and just go deep in craft, it's like super special.
I'm definitely less stressed this year.
And then there's Sean Wang.
This experience has just like changed my DNA as a filmmaker.
What got him accepted to Sundance was his screenplay for his first feature film, Didi. He'd been toiling away on the film pretty much by himself with his crew for 6 years.
I was just obsessed with who won Sundance this year, who won the audience award, who won the jury prize, like what's the next filmmaker that is coming out of Sundance.
Turns out he was one of those Sundance filmmakers. Last year, Didi not only won 2 of the Sundance Film Festival's top prizes, it also got him a distribution deal.
They don't finance your movie. They have no financial stake in your movie. When we sell the movie, they're not like, great, where's our 10%? It's a very giving environment, but obviously they want your films to succeed.
This year, the California wildfires have cast a long shadow over the festival. Michelle Satter's home, where we did our interview, is now gone, as are so many others.
She is tough and resilient, as only a woman can be.
None of those victims were forgotten here this past week.
We lost our village, but at the end of the day, we are the village.
As for Robert Redford, the visionary who started it all, well, he's now 88. He hasn't been here in person for the last 3 years, but his spirit remains. Independent film has forever been changed, a legacy that he and others have taken to the box office bank.
He put his money where his mouth is, and I'm in awe of that, and I salute him for it.